After drawing 1-1 in London on Saturday night, we go back again in London at the Stamford Bridge to obviously face the side of Chelsea. Very hard-fought game, and I'm really very nervous about that game of football, because when I reflect back on how Chelsea went ahead, obviously have very many chances to kill off the game when you're playing them at Old Trafford, because you had failed to obviously kill off ours. I really read a very hostile atmosphere at the Stamford Bridge. The fans are going to be rowdy, and we need to obviously have the best of concentration to really try to clinch out the best of the result. I had told you that I'm gonna not talk about Champions League football, but I tell you, according to how our opponents are really performing, there is no way you can really get yourself off from really talking about it, because yesterday Tottenham Hotspur went ahead to draw away at West Ham 1-1. That's what really happened there, and it shows you exactly that they are also not consistent, and you can never really come out and really predict what they are going to come up with and put it and throw it into your face. But that's the same thing that Man United is doing. Even they've also gone ahead to draw, and they've gone ahead to draw points, and as it stands, we are having 48 points, and Tottenham Hotspur is really having 57 points, meaning that they are how many points? Let's really get real onto this. What are the points of Tottenham Hotspur into this? Spurs is having 57, right? And Man United is having 48, meaning that if Man United wins tomorrow, we are going to be having 51 points, 6 points behind Tottenham Hotspur. And remember, Aston Villa is playing Man City, and if Man City beat Aston Villa tonight, United wins, we will be 8 points behind Aston Villa with the game in hand. If we win that game of football, that means we are 5 points behind them. So the permutations are still very sounding, but I'm this kind of person who doesn't really believe in that anymore, because you never know which side of United is going to pan out. Because if you are Man United and you want to qualify for the Champions League, you cannot lose to Fulham at home. You cannot lose to Brentford yesterday, because you cannot lose to Brentford like we lost on Saturday, because we failed to defend 3 minutes to obviously get in the 3 points. If we had gone ahead to get in those 3 points now, we would have gone ahead to be having 49 points. Would have gone ahead to be having 49, right? Let me see. 40. Would have gone ahead to be having 50 points. Those would have gone ahead to be now 7 points behind Tottenham Hotspur, and 7 points behind Aston Villa. That is it. So it's really hard to obviously trust the club of Man United. But all in all, I would like to welcome everyone watching on this channel, United Matters channel. It is Chelsea is hosting us at the Stamford Bridge, and I think we last won at the Stamford Bridge when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was there. I remember that game. It ended 2-0 in favor of Man United, and it was a header coming in through from Anton Martial, and then Harry Maguire went ahead to capitalize onto a corner that was delivered by Bruno Fernandes, and he headed it in the back of the net to make it 2-0 for the club of Man United. But we've never gone ahead to obviously do a double over Chelsea, and I think that season we did a double over Chelsea because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went ahead to beat Frank Lampard at Old Trafford by 4-1, and at their home went ahead to beat them by 2-0. Even when we played them in the Carabao Cup, I think Marcus Rashford went ahead to score a screamer and went ahead to knock them out. So that's how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bossed this guy. But when Tuchel came in through, I think we really had lots of draws, and even last season, I remember Erik ten Hag drew. Last season, we drew at Stamford Bridge. They came at Old Trafford, we beat them. Even this season, we've gone ahead to beat them at Old Trafford by 2-1, and we are traveling there as hungry lions. But you might be hungry, and when you are given food, the way you eat it determines the results on whether you're going to get satisfied, get food poison, eat well, say that food turns out to be productive in your body by really getting you the best energy, or else you might eat that food and you sleep over. So we are having very many options. We are hungry lions, but what are we going to do? Because Chelsea looks to be the prey, but what are we going to use the prey for? That is the most important bit of it all. So I think this game is very, very important. And if we happen to win, then our hopes to play in the Champions League would have gone to resurrect again. Because I think even Aston Villa is not going to really get 3 points at the Etihad. That is it. So we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and let's continue to subscribe to this channel because we want to hit. So have we gone ahead to hit that number? Because by the time I slept, we left with just one subscriber to hit that milestone. So guys, we are left with one subscriber to hit 17,000 subscribers. So guys, continue to do the needful and subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now let's go to Man United. The injury list has gone ahead to swell a little bit from Luke Shaw. Anton Martial is having a groin injury, and Natel Malacia is having an injury, plus Luke Shaw is having a muscle injury. Two have gone ahead to join the list. Victor Lindelof and Lisandro Martinez have gone ahead to join the list, making it 5. But I told you Anton Martial and Natel Malacia are back on the green grass, and we never know when they're really going to get into the team. Now, for Chelsea, they're having Wesley Fofana out with an injury. Romeo Lavia is having a thigh injury. Christopher Nkunku, Reece James, and Leslie Iguechuku are really having all hamstring injuries. Levi Colville is having a toe injury. Chukwuemeka is having a knock. Robert Sanchez and Trevor Chalobah, both unspecified due to injury. So those are the players Chelsea are really having. But they really have a very vast range of good players that can come in and really get the job done and dusted. The likes of Noni Mwadeke, Mikhailo Modric, Raheem Sterling, Disasi, Thiago Silva, and very many more other players. So those are the players you anticipate that are really going to be out. And for Man United, we are having a player called Amad Diallo returning from suspension, having gone ahead to get a red card as he celebrated as Man United knocked out Liverpool from the FA Cup in a very painful way altogether. Now, Erik ten Hag has a very huge urge, and we anticipate that he's really going to make some small changes into the starting 11 that really played against the side of Brentford over the weekend. The system, it's always a 4-2-3-1. That's what he uses. And let's get into the predicted starting 11 that the main man is expected to obviously bring on. In a game of football where Chelsea is a team that's going to concede very many goals, by the way. It's not a team that you're going to come out and say they're going to come out and keep a clean sheet. No way. We can score against them, but can we also really defend and really see ourselves not really conceding goals? You get? Can we really see ourselves not conceding goals? Because this is going to be really important. Andre Onana is going to be in between the stitches. He really tried to keep a clean sheet again, but he was really stopped by the careless defending in the last 3 minutes of the game by the team of Man United. That is Andre Onana for you, going ahead to do the needful. Having 9. Is he having 8 or 9? I think he's having 9 clean sheets so far, and it's David Raya having 10 this season. Now, the right back position, I understand it's going to be Dalot in there for you, and he might be facing Mikhailo Modric or Raheem Sterling, one of the two. And for him, I'm not dubious at any point because he has gone ahead to close down any person, any player that has gone ahead to be fronted him in the Premier League. He has closed them down well. He also spares time to go up front and do the needful. Left back, I think it's going to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka. With Carl Palmer being one of the most deadly players, I think Bissaka will really have to control this player 100% and not see to it that he goes past him. That is Aaron Wan-Bissaka for you at the left back for the club of Man United. Central defense, I think we're going to be having Harry Maguire playing on the right side of the central defense and Rafael Varane playing on the left side of the central defense. That is it for the club of Man United, and that's what we anticipate this game of football to be like. Then we expect Casemiro to start because he had some 26 minutes in the game we played against Brentford, and I think he has all the reason to start. He's not rusty, and I know he's really going to come in through and do the needful. Putting up an assist for the goal that we scored against Chelsea. Sorry, the goal we scored against Brentford. it is really very much calling for him to come in through and do the job. Alongside Mainoo, who really had to undergo a late fitness test. He went ahead to pass it because he was really injured, and he really comes here to do the needful to play in that double pivot for the club of Man United as we take on the side of Chelsea. And that double pivot is going to be facing the double pivot of Chelsea, of Enzo Fernandez and Mikhailo Modric. Ahead of them, it's going to be Bruno Fernandes, the captain, a player that needs to obviously compose himself better. He does all the best good, but the way he composes himself is really lacking, and to me, it has gone ahead to obviously cause us lots and lots of problems at the club of Man United, because he doesn't even create for his forward. That is really bad about him. He can have like 5 shots at goal, yet his center forward is really having 1, meaning that most of the times he really tries to shoot outside the 10 box area. He's supposed to be looking out for that line breaking pass to gate his center forward, that is Rasmus Højlund. Now, he really went ahead to have a very bad game against Brentford. The manager took him off, that is Garnacho, but I get him into the starting 11. And if at all Garnacho performs badly today, to me he doesn't start the game of Liverpool, because he really looked ugly against Brentford. And today is a day for him to really exonerate himself and get back in the books of Erik ten Hag. If he doesn't, then that will speak volumes for him not to start in the game of Liverpool, because the Mad Diallos, Anthony's are really there waiting for a chance again. But I really understand he's going to be facing Chilwell, and he can really beat him by his pace. And all we need to do is that we are going to be having a team that is really we are going to be playing against a team that is really ready to open up, and if a team is ready to open up, you know what it means? That means that it can really get you and give you pockets of space for you to operate in and really get yourself going. Then the left forward, Marcus Rashford, again, very ugly game against Brentford, and I think he will need to obviously up his game again when playing against Chelsea. He's one of those few players that rise up when you're playing big teams. He scores against big teams, and this season he has scored against Arsenal, he has scored against Liverpool, he has scored against Man City. So he has gone ahead to score against Spurs. That is Marcus Rashford for you. Against big teams, there is the way he raises, and you never know, today might be his day for him to obviously score those goals that will take us back into the Champions League competition, because he tends to fake a way of really scoring goals against big teams. And who is leading the line? Rasmus Højlund, obviously, is going to be the man responsible to lead the line for the club of Man United. So that is my predicted starting 11 for the side of Man United, and I know it's really going to come up and really do the job. If they can really follow the tactics of the manager, we can beat Chelsea, but you cannot really underestimate them. But I think ever since we've gone ahead to play Chelsea, they are at their weakest. I mean, it's them being at Stamford Bridge, having a lot of people that are going to be behind them, supporting them. They've just gone ahead to really have a very bad run of games. They failed to win against Burnley, that was really having a man down. And I tell you, that Burnley side could obviously kill off the game, because a player was sent off and they found themselves in a position of really losing their manager company, and he was also sent off. And Chelsea has been struggling in most occasions, but there is the way they raise up to the occasion when they're playing big teams, and I anticipate that they're going to come up when they're really facing Man United. But I think they also know to it that they have a chance to go ahead and play in the UEFA Conference League if they continue winning games and get into the top 6 or top 8 of the Premier League table. Now, let's go to the head-to-head stats for this game. 1. Chelsea are winless in their last 12 Premier League matches against Manchester United. They have 7 draws and 5 losses, their longest ever run without a league victory against the Red Devils. I grew up knowing that 2 teams were really hard for us to beat. It was always Liverpool and Chelsea. It was always, those games were really always hard for us, and Chelsea went ahead to beat us. Even when we were having Sir Alex Ferguson, Chelsea had more wins against us. So I think ever since in the previous 6 seasons, Chelsea have gone ahead not to beat us, meaning that we've gone ahead to obviously beat them 5 times. Then Man United are looking to complete the Premier League double over Chelsea for just the second time, previously doing so in the 2019-2020 campaign. I told you that was under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We went ahead to get a double from them, and this time round we've gone ahead to beat them at Old Trafford by 2-1. And here we come in peace to wait and see how we kill off the game at Stamford Bridge. Man United are looking to win 3 consecutive league matches against Chelsea for the first time since September 1965. They are unbeaten in their last 5 visits to Stamford Bridge, though 4 of these have ended level, and we had 1 win. So that is it, and I think we have all what it takes to really come in through and beat the side of Chelsea tonight. If at all the players react to the tactics of the manager very well and they don't really put in lame performances, I tell you, we can really beat this team of Chelsea. And if we run and put our bodies on the line and Ten Hag picks the good team, I don't want to see Scott McTominay in this game. I don't see any reason as to why Ten Hag wants to start Scott McTominay. You know, I want to see Casemiro and Mainoo into the double pivot. Then, fourthly, Man United have won just 1 of their last 9 Premier League away games against London sides. 3 draws, 5 losses, losing 4 of their last 6. They've lost 3 of their 5 such visits this season, last losing more in a single top flight. So, we are here to really get records going. Lastly, Chelsea are winless in their last 6 Premier League games in April. They're having 2 draws and 4 losses since beating West Ham 1-0 in 2022 at home. They've won just 1 of their last 10 in April, you know. So, losing 5 of the last 7 at Stamford Bridge. So, Chelsea are really not in a good shape, and this is why I tell you, we have all what it takes to come through and really beat them, hands down. And I'm really anticipative that if all goes well, Chelsea will be given a beating for their lives tonight. And I'm predicting a draw for the club of Man United. I don't see us losing this game. I think the worst result we can get at Stamford Bridge is a draw. But a win is also possible, provided these players really have it in mind that Spurs went ahead to draw points yesterday. And if at all we win, we go to 51 points, 6 points in between us and Tottenham Hotspur. Yet Spurs has to play Man City, Arsenal, Newcastle, and Liverpool. All those games are really very important to note, and that's why these players should obviously exonerate themselves. If we fail to beat Chelsea tomorrow, then these players will have gone ahead to fail themselves to play in the Champions League, because our opponents have gone ahead to give us chances. We all know that unless otherwise the shocker comes in through. But Aston Villa versus Man City at Etihad, after Man City had gone ahead obviously get a goalless draw with Arsenal, you anticipate that it's really going to be a very hard game, you know, for Aston Villa. Man City is going to come out in full pelt, full blast, to obviously give them the best of the attacks. I really understand it that way. So I'm really here to really tell you that it's now the players. The manager's always going to have to do his job, and now the players need to raise up to the occasion. And there is a question of Mason Mount. Can you start him in this game of football? The position where he was supposed to start, that player is really undroppable. That is Bruno Fernandes. But I know he's going to come back and really play a part into that game. And it might act like a spark for him. It might act like a spark for him. That goal he scored late when you're playing against Brentford before they leveled us. He might even come in today and come off the bench and really get us the winner. It's possible. It's possible. And you'll see that Stamford Bridge being sent into a meltdown by that boy, and they would all go silent, you know, to an extent that you could hardly hear a pin drop. That is it. So that's my predicted starting 11, but my prediction is a 2-2 draw, and a win is possible, but I'm going in for a 2-2 draw into that game. But I know we can also forge out a win. But a draw 60%, a draw 30%, a win, and 10% a loss. I don't see us losing to Tottenham Hotspur, to Chelsea. in London, though our performances in London have gone ahead to be not okay under Eric Ten Hag. I've always reiterated these words that he has only beaten one team away in London. That is Fulham. Last season, he beat them by 2-1. This season, he beat them by 1-0. It was a Bruno Fernandes that came in late. Your predictions are welcome in the comment section below. Rokan David is my name. I've gone ahead to start off the day with a match preview and hope you guys really get the full charge of this encounter. I'm out.